Welcome back to Coco the Creative. I'm Coco, and this is Flosstube number 14. So today I want to talk about progress with my WIPs, and this will also be like a March wrap-up slash April WIP rotation. And at the end, I'm going to talk about books. I've been putting off talking about books for a while now. I do have my baby here behind me, just hanging out. So the gurgles, that's coming from her. So yeah, there might be some pauses and stuff in between, but I've been feeling very stitchy for as we are entering spring, and I have a lot of things that I want to talk about. Okay, so I'll start with my March wrap up. So the pieces that I did for my monthly rotation in March were in anticipation of spring. That is one of my big Joy Autumn 9-count pieces. That was like my focus piece for the month. And Blueberry J was my challenge. I should call it a concentration piece because these are not like super difficult for me most of the time. Especially when I have everything that I need, like the lighting and the right needle and stuff like that. It's more like a concentration piece. So Blueberry J was my concentration piece, which I try to have at least one of those. Croix, which was my small. And then I couldn't settle on a fourth piece, like my wild card piece. So what I ended up doing was keeping Underwater Tapestry in the rotation, but I would just put it downstairs so that I only worked on it when I was downstairs in my house. And that was actually good for me because then I wasn't like lugging the 9-count tapestries all over the house. Like I had one upstairs and I had one downstairs. With that being said, I have worked so much on these tapestry pieces that I really don't want to work on them that much right now. I think I'm going to kind of coast in terms of working on my tapestry pieces in the month of April. And then I'll get the itch to work on them a lot later on. I just know how I am at this point. Okay, so yeah, let me go through all of those that I just listed. In anticipation of spring, let's start with that one. So last time I showed you this, I only had maybe about this much done. And the way that I'm working on this one right now is I'm doing it edge to edge. So I'll pick like 2 cells and then I'll work all the way from one side of the pattern to the other side. And my goal was to, basically get to both edges. And I did. I made it to across to the other side. And this is all that I've done. There's only all that's above this is what's it called, pattern. So that's everything that I did. I was looking at my old video and I was like, I cannot believe that I got that much done. And this is what it looks like on the back. So it gives you a better idea of the coverage. This was really fun to do it this way and I haven't done my Joy Autumns like this yet. Because I felt like I could get a lot done in one sitting, but also I got to experience lots of colors and lots of motifs, just pieces of them. Obviously, nothing's quite done when you go like this, but if you're one of those stitchers who gets tired of the same color or the same pattern in a motif, but you want to keep stitching on that, but you just don't want to bounce around too much, just working your way across like that where you're hitting all the little, not every pattern is set up that way, but this one just happened to be, and I really liked being able to do that. So I think I'm going to try to keep up stitching on it like that. I kind of, with the Joy Autumns, I do like to stitch on them in different ways, like trying out different ways to cover the whole piece. So yeah, but I'm I am thoroughly fed up with this piece at this point. I did a little bit of math. So if I continued like that, where I just dedicated 1 month to 2 cells all the way across the pattern, I would finish it in a year and 4 months. And I worked nonstop. So yeah, it's nice to know like how long it would take me to finish this if I really like put my nose to the grindstone. And I think that I'm just going to take that information with me, and I want to finish underwater tapestry first. So I kind of want to have that in my rotations almost every month. And I think that once I get done with that, I'll probably just be touching this every now and then, but it's just nice to know how much more time it takes me to complete it. Okay, so that was in anticipation of spring. And Blueberry J is next. Okay. Oh, I don't need to take this one off. Well, I always like to, there are just certain pieces like this where I just like to show off the floss. Hold on, let me straighten it out. All right. They're not even, but those are the colors. Ooh, this one's a little tangly. This is not the time to organize this. No, not the right time for that, but these are the colors. Really beautiful. Okay, let's see how the light makes this look now. Okay, this is the closest my camera has ever like made this look like it does in real life. So pretty good. Pretty pleased that you guys get to see how green this fabric is. So I feel like I got some really good progress in. Yeah. And like the way that I stitch this is like, it's all reference points. Like because the count is so high, like I cannot really afford to make too many mistakes. I really hate frogging stuff. Like with all of the fiber of my being, I do not like to frog things. But I've been doing pretty good on this. It's been enjoyable. Like I said, I don't really, this is the highest count I've stitched on, and this is the only piece I've ever stitched on with one strand of floss, but I'm enjoying it. I think it's because the colors are really pulling me in. Like this is, once again, just the colors, I've said this before, they're very bursty. It makes me think of like jam, like currant berries that like have gotten on your fingers, and like you go blackberry picking or something and you're just like, you've just got stains all over you. Like that's kind of what it reminds me of. And it's very, like, it's really put me in the mood of spring. Even on we're experiencing kind of a cold spring here in Maryland. But it is just like a really fun piece in that regard. And I like that there's let me not say patterns. Like there's like patterns in there. There's shapes and stuff. There's repetition of, designs, but it's not over and over and over and over and over again. You know what I mean? Like there's a lot of fracturing of the designs and stuff like that. And I like that, because sometimes I want to stitch something that's more repetitive, but that feeling is very fleeting. Like I've tried to like do mandalas and stuff, and I don't like them because of that reason. But I feel like Blueberry J has like cool interruptions of the patterns and the repeated designs and stuff like that. And the colors just like make it fun. So it's just got all that good stuff. And I'm just really pleased. Like this is a month's work. And before the last, like at the beginning of the month, I like I can't remember if, no, I don't even think I had this motif done. I think either I had it outlined and I didn't have it filled in, but anyway, I was just working with this thing right here. And now I've got it filled in and I've got all these little things going on. So yeah. And also I was listening a lot, and this is the back in case you care. I was listening a lot to one of my, like my audiobook, Faded Sun trilogy, which is a reread for me. I read the book a long time ago, and now I'm listening to the audiobook version. Take a coffee break. And so that's kind of cool that like I'm doing this repetitive stitching, I'm concentrating, and then I'm listening to this story that I've read before. And so I don't have to listen too carefully because I already know what happens, but it's like this 700-page book. And so it's just like, we're just like submerging ourselves in the process and, you know, the longevity of it all. So, because this is a long project. Okay. So that was Blueberry J. So now it is out of rotation, and I will probably get back to it in maybe 2 to 3 months, because I think I want to kind of rotate my concentration projects like in order and try not to break that order. And unless it's something special like Sampler September, then I have to do certain projects and stuff like that. Okay. Next one is Croix. I feel like I just showed this one. I did not get a lot of progress done on this, but I did get some. This is my lemon Croix, and I'm just doing it on a dyed Ada. Yeah, I got some more of the bottom done. I did make a mistake. I like missed a whole row down here, and I didn't realize it until way later, so I'm not going to add another row. I'd have to like take out the gray at the bottom, like the bottom of the can, in order to get it in there, and I just don't want to do that. So don't you guys love how transparent I am with how much I mess up? I feel like more Flosstubers should do that. Okay, so yeah, I've gotten a good amount done. There's Lily, she's saying hi. But not as much as I wanted to, but it's okay, because it's going to come back into rotation. And the important thing is that I touched it. And here's the back, in case you care. Important thing is, the only thing I'm a little like Coco, like, how do you expect to have several of these around the holidays if like it's taking you this long? But you know what? It's fine. No one's going to know. I didn't tell anybody that I plan on bringing stitchy gifts for the holidays, so no one's going to know it's besides me if I don't have anything. And I have another holiday thing that I'm working on for gifts for people, so we'll have something to give away. Okay. And then the last thing I want to show is my underwater tapestry. So yeah, this thing is gigantic. I took a picture. I'm going to put it up here to show you what we're working with. But I think the last time I showed this off, I did not, like that whole row under where I am now was gone. So I have another, I've reached the edge of the pattern, and now I'm moving up. I think you could probably see where my needle is, but I'm moving up, and I'm looking at it over here. It's over here. And I'm going back the way that I came. I don't know if I'm going to stick to that. I might jump back up into the tree at the top. Yeah, I didn't work on this that much. Like I said, I kept it downstairs, and so I only worked on it when I was usually downstairs at nighttime, like when it was family time with me and my kids and my husband, and we're like watching a movie, or like the kids are playing video games and I'm just hanging out with them or whatever. But it's okay. It's my focus piece, so it stays in the rotation for the most part. And I go through these, you know, bouts where I'm like, I don't want to look at anything else except the underwater tapestry. I don't want to work on anything else except the underwater tapestry, but I don't want to like force myself to work on it because it's like my favorite piece. And I am going to be sad. I am going to cry when I'm done working on it because I love it so much. And I have other Joy Autumns, but the ones I have started have not given me the feeling that this one gives me. It reminds me of Ponyo, um, from Hayao Miyazaki. It makes me think back to my desire to become a marine biologist when I was like a kid. So yeah, I'm gonna just enjoy the process with that one. Okay, that was the March wrap up. So I'm going to show you what's in my new WIP rotation. So I have settled on Underwater Tapestry, which we just finished talking about. So yeah, I'm going to keep working on Underwater Tapestry. I think I'm going to keep it downstairs because I kind of liked not having to lug it up and down. And also, like, it not being in my room has kind of taken out the decision of, well, what am I going to work on? Because I feel like my other stitchy projects did not get as much of my attention because I was always working on a Joy Autumn because it's just the easiest one. But since I haven't had it in my room these first few days in April, and I've been working on my other projects more, which is like awesome. So I think I'm going to keep it downstairs. So I just only work on it when I'm downstairs. Okay. I'm not going to talk about Underwater Tapestry anymore. I'm going to move on to my Turtle Quaker. So I've done a lot on this since you've seen it last, which I showed it off. Last time I showed it off was my WIP parade. And yeah, I'm like super proud of myself. Every time I bring this out, every single time I bring this out, I am so surprised by how much progress I've made on it. But it makes sense because this is the first time, this is my first linen project. And so I've had it for the longest in terms of all of my like linen counted cross projects. Please ignore my crazy margins. Like, it was my first time, like I said, stitching on linen. So I think the last time I showed you this, these turtles were not here. This like filigree applique, whatever you want to call it, was not done. So now that's done. I do not like this filigree, like, and it's throughout. I don't like working on that because it's harder to work on than the turtles because the turtles is just row, 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 row. But the filigree, you have to kind of like jump around and like eyeball it a little bit more. But it's done. I finished it and I know kind of like what to expect now. So like I knocked this one out so I didn't have to worry about it. Like, one thing I'm not going to do is like save all the stuff that I don't like for the end. And I think I kind of did that this time. I'm not doing it again. So I'm on page 2. Oh yeah, I finished page 1. So this is like, let me see if I can hold it. This is like page 1 right here. I finished page 1. I wanted to finish page 1 in September, Sampler September last year, and I probably could have done it, but I didn't want it bad enough. I just like was so sick of these turtles. I was dreaming about turtles. I had to stop. That's the thing with this stitch. I stitch on it until I am sick of turtles, and then I just put it away. And when I bring it back out, that's why I'm so surprised, because when I put it away, I was like, ugh, I don't care how much progress I've made and how much I've accomplished. I don't want to look at this anymore. So yeah. So I've extended the border since April started. I've extended the border. I've done this leaf, and I started working on this like mustardy yellowish green turtle. And he's like the second biggest turtle in the piece. Like this turtle, he's the biggest. And this one's the second largest. So this is just like one of my green academia. I consider it one of my green academia pieces. This linen, I can't remember the name of it. I'm pretty sure it's a Zweigart. And I still don't know if it's like 32 or 28 count. I think it's 32. I'm just like so comfortable with this piece at this point. Like, I wish I knew exactly where I got this. I mean, I got it from Amazon, but I wish I knew like exactly the name and stuff because I want more of this linen. It's just white. Or it's like a soft gray, I would say. And I am just like so comfortable with it. I'm like, I don't want to stitch on anything else. And I have a lot of room at the bottom. I picked up a couple smalls off of Etsy, and I'm not going to talk about them today, but I'm going to put them down here like the next time. This was my trial turtle. I can't wait till I get to this one in the actual pattern because I think he's my favorite turtle. He's so cute. But I think I'm going to put some more like little smalls down here that I found on Etsy. Stay tuned for that. Because like I have to go to Michael's and like get the floss, and yeah, I don't know when I'm going to do that next because it's like I just go when I'm in the area. Like I just pull up my phone and I'm like, okay, what do I need floss for? So, yeah. And the pieces that I'm talking about, they're birds. They're so cute. I don't have any like little bird pieces, and these I saw these on Etsy and I was like, I have to do these. They're amazing. Okay, I'll stop talking about something that I'm not even showing you guys. So yeah, that is Turtle Quaker by Owl Forest Embroidery. They've got some good stuff over there. All the way in Russia. Okay. Don't want to talk about this. Yes. Okay, so it took me a while to settle on what my third piece was going to be because I was like, oh, why don't I just keep the LaCroix small in the rotation since I didn't work on it that much last month, but I don't want to work on the LaCroix. I'm like tired of it. So even though I haven't touched it that much, I'm like, no, if you're tired of a piece, you should rotate it out because then you're not going to work on it. And this like forcing myself to push stuff out of my rotation and bring other WIPs in that I want to overall get progress on has really helped me make progress. She's just happy. She's just listening to me talk to you guys and is happy. Okay, so nothing has changed since I last showed you guys this, but I'm just showing you that this is going to be the next thing in the rotation. So this comes from like my Ornamental Egg sampler that I got off of Daily Pattern Post. And this fabric is Luna Moth. I believe it's 16, either 16 or 18 count, one of those. And the thread is Dreary by the Stitch Me, I think. And it's a variegated thread. And I really like the blue on blue with a little bit of gray in there. But these are going to be ornaments eventually, which is why I call them Ornamental Eggs. So yeah, this is what I'm going to be working on. And this is like, I realized I needed a monochromatic project to work on. And each egg does not take long. And they're like, it's just like that, you know, instant gratification finish once you do finish them. And this is like one of my best travel pieces. So like so easy to bring this because it's monochromatic, doesn't have really any floss to deal with, no floss drops. And I have the pattern on my phone. So I needed something like that because my other stuff, it's like, there's a little bit of a setup going or just like too many colors to deal with. So this is like super easy to just bring on the go. And then also I'm going to try to fill this up with as many eggs as possible. So I'm not like switching it all over the place. Okay. So those were my lineups. So I'm going to quickly talk about books. I might have to pause because I think that she's eventually going to be hungry. My baby. All right. Okay, there might be some overlap here because I hadn't taken the time to go through my old videos to see if I talked about certain books yet. So I finished Old Boy Volume 1 by Garon Tsuchiya. And yeah, it was good. It's like an urban thriller. There's a film adaptation. And I didn't realize it started off as a manga until it just got recommended to me on Amazon when I was like Kindle Unlimited browsing. And yeah, I liked it. I don't know if I'm going to read Volume 2 anytime soon, but I did like Volume 1. I think I gave it like 4 or 5 stars on Goodreads. Okay, another book that I read was called Lovers Through the Looking glass. And if you've been following me, then you know that one, I'm an indie author, and two, I am making it a point to read more and review more indie authors to like help that community grow and get their information out there to people who are readers. So Lovers Through the Looking Glass is by KJ Bradford. She's an indie author that I actually know just like through my socials. And she's been like, I see her sometimes when she's like collecting ARC signups, advanced review, reader copy signups on the socials and stuff. And Lovers Through the Looking Glass is like one of her novellas that's kind of like a prequel to another book that's one of her books that's coming out later in the year. And I wanted to read that book because she has like lots of different books like from her universe, but I wanted to read the one, I think it's called The Fox and the Tree. It's coming out, I think in April. I think it's coming out this month, and I want to read that one. So I read this little prequel for The World, and I really liked it. And it's just like a novella. Like I think I read it in 2 days, and that's like just so nice. It's like finishing a small in cross stitch, like reading a novella. It's like you're like meeting your reading goals, but you know you're not using up all of your energy. So I think I gave that one like 4 stars. And it definitely takes like Alice in Wonderland. It's like dark fantasy. And yeah, it takes Alice in Wonderland stuff and twists it around. But yeah, I would recommend to anybody who likes dark fantasy. And also if you're looking for more queer and BIPOC rep in your fantasy novels, that also has it, as KJ is also queer and Black. Okay, I think I have to do baby things. I will be back. I'm back. Okay, so this is another book that I finished. I cannot remember if I talked about it, so I'll be really quick. Witch Hat Atelier, Volume 10 by Kamome Shirahama. So I think the last time I talked about this, I said that this was the last book in the series that I owned. I have since gotten the next 2 volumes, 11 and 12, and they're waiting for me. I'm not ready to read them yet, but I love the series, and of course I want to finish it, or at least be completely up to date before the anime starts, which I haven't checked on when the anime is set to drop, but it's going to be, I believe, this year. So I finished that. Those were all my bookish finishes. So now I'm going to talk about books that I am currently reading. So let me pull up the first one. So I am reading Betrayer by C.J. Cherryh. It is the 12th novel in the Foreigner series. So just a quick review. Foreigner is about a human, like, it's about an alien planet that humans have landed on, and basically they coexist with the original inhabitants of the planet, which are called Atevi. And Foreigner focuses on a human ambassador who works very closely with the Atevi. He's kind of like taking on their language, their customs, all that stuff. And like over the course of the books, he becomes more than an ambassador. But it's his job, basically. We're just reading about his career with these Atevi inhabitants. And I don't want to call them aliens because the humans are the aliens in this situation, but it's really great. Because they have like different psychology and biology than the humans, and he has to like take all that into consideration. He has to a lot of times put his human like instincts to the side and like think as an Atevi would think to like handle like diplomatic, like high, like very risky situations Because if he just handled them as a human would, then like everybody would be dead. So yeah, I'm on book 12, and I think there's 22 out right now. I'm about 65% through. I just read these books slowly. Like I've been reading them over the course of 7 years, I think, at this point. So I just kind of take my time with them. But yeah, that's Betrayer, reading that one. The next book I'm reading off of my Kindle Unlimited is Undying Alchemist by Greg Tolley. So this is another cultivation novel, and I've tried twice reading these books. The first one was The Fisherman's Guide to something something, and then the other one was Beware of Chicken. We're doing it again. We're trying it again. I'm liking this one so far. I feel like it's not as like, I don't want to be rude, but like it's not as like cheesy as the other ones that I've read. Um, it's a little bit more serious, and I think it's more direct about like it's kind of like Buddhist, like reincarnation kind of influences. But basically, this guy, he's born into, well, he dies, and then he's born into a new body of someone else who has died, and basically picks up their life where they left off. And he's born in like this compound with, and he's born into a 16-year old's body. Like this, yeah, this is a 16-year-old apparently. He's born into the 16-year-old's body in this compound with all these other 16-year-olds, and they basically have to like prove um their affinities towards certain cheese, and develop those affinities, and if they fall behind, they die. And when he dies, he starts all over from the beginning. So he just like once again wakes up where he woke up the first time he was reborn in the body. And there's a system, so it's like he has to like use points to buy skills. Every time he dies, he gets more points, and depending on how leveled up he was at the time of death, that determines how many points he gets, or like credits he uses to like buy information from like the operating system, like in his mind or whatever. So yeah, I'm enjoying it so far. I'm only like, I don't even think I'm 10% yet, but yeah, I'm just like, I just read it like when I can't sleep. I do a lot of stitching and a lot of reading when I have insomnia. FYI. Okay. And then I always like to have at least one physical book that I'm reading, like on my bedside. So, and I was like struggling with that because I was going to read the next book in the Scum Villain series, but like I started it and I'm like, I don't think I'm ready for this yet. And I have like other like YA books by indie authors that I need to start, but I just didn't feel like reading those either. So I had this book originally on my Kindle Unlimited, but like the font was too small for me. And every time I adjusted it, it automatically adjusted my font size on all my other Kindle books, which was too big. And I was like, okay, this is going to be really annoying. Also, this book is like 400 something pages long, and I really don't like reading books over like 300 pages on Kindle Unlimited. It just feels like I don't know. If I'm going to have a really big book, I like to either listen to it or have a physical copy of it. And I already have a book by this author that I finished last year. So I just went and ordered the physical copy because, as you can see, it's pretty long. It's like 410 pages long. So this is Render to Silver by Catherine Labadie. Last year I read her standalone fantasy, A Song for the Road. This one is the first in a duology. I think the duology name is Lustrous Divinity. And I was going to read the second one, Garner for Gold, and then I looked it up and I realized it was the second book in a duology. So I was like, well, I got to read the first one but first. So this is the first one, Rendered to Silver. I just love the art. I think it's the same artist. If not, it's the same like style of art. It's like gothic, which I like don't typically like dark fantasy, but um I do kind of like more authentic gothic literature. So stuff that's like that, not like the new kind of modern dark, what dark fantasy has become, but just like that kind of like original gothic style of um, literature is more appealing to me, and that's kind of what this is. Like it's giving Hunchback of Notre Dame vibes, and it also there's like it's about they're not nuns, but they kind of they kind of live like nuns in like a church or whatever. And I think I'm guessing it's like an all female cast or mostly female cast, and it kind of reminds me of Priory of the Orange Tree. If you've ever read that, that was a really good book, and I kind of wanted it to go more into like what was going on at the Priory. So I think this book is kind of on that level. And the nuns in this book, they're called founts, and once again, they don't have to be like as modest as nuns, but like I don't know any other word for it because they're women. They're like women who live as monks, kind of situation. But the church is like corrupt and everything like that, so that's where like the Hunchback of Notre Dame vibes are coming from, and then like the gothic side of things. So I'm super excited to get into this. I'm only on page like 5, but I've liked what I've read so far, and I just took my time reading A Song for the Road. I didn't like read it so fast, and I just enjoyed it. So that's what I'm gonna do. I'm just gonna enjoy this book. Okay, that's all my Stitchy progress. Those are the books that I'm reading. I'm so glad that I caught you guys up on my books because I've been waiting to talk about get you caught up on everything so far. So maybe next time I'll talk about where I am in my writing, which is crazy. It is a complete mess, but I've started writing more regularly now. Um, Now that I've kind of like gotten a routine going with the baby and everything like that. And yeah, I'm gonna wrap it up. Um, sound off in the comments. Let me know what you feel, how you feel about my progress. If any of the books are speaking to you, let's talk about it. I love to talk about a book. And I will see you next time. Bye. Oh, and remember to like and subscribe because I want more people to know about me. Bye.